Aum Sri Ram, and welcome back to another episode of My Sai in 100 Years of Sai. When we look at families who have dedicated themselves to Swami's mission, there are some who shine as beautiful examples of devotion carried across generations. Today, we are fortunate to welcome such a family, the Somaroo family. Brother Sunil, who is a banker by profession, has been part of the Hillside Sai Center since 1997. Over the years, he has worn many hats of service, which include being vice president, president, seva convener, and even regional and national roles. No matter the position, his heart has always been in service to Swami and the center. By his side is Sister Nitasha, an accountant, but more importantly, a Sai Balvikas graduate and active youth who originated from the Phoenix region. When she joined Hillside after marriage in 2004, she brought her devotion and energy straight into the center, serving in youth, education, and spiritual wings, to name a few, and today continues to guide her two sons, Siddhar and Swaran. Both of them are Balvikas graduates and now active young adults. Siddhar recently graduated in Prashanti as a young adult alumnus, and Swaran uses his creativity to bring multimedia and technology into satsangs. As a family, the Somaroos have lived, served, and grown in Swami's love, showing us what it truly means to be part of his mission, not just as individuals, but together as one Sai family. Let us warmly welcome the Somaroo family to My Sai in 100 Years of Sai. Aum Sri Ram.
Aum Sri Ram, Brother Dinesh.
So, let us start right at the beginning. How did you first come into the Sai fold?
If you don't mind, I'll go. Thank you, Brother Dinesh. So, my journey, I've always been spiritually inclined from a little boy. And I started in the Divine Life Ashram, which was down the road that we lived in. So it was easy to go to satsang. And so I've always been, but it was Swami, I think, preparing me for a bigger mission. And that mission was the Hillside Sai Center, I believe. So yes, in 1991, I was transferred to Pretoria for work reasons as a young 21-year-old boy. And when I arrived there was no Divine Life Ashram in Pretoria at that stage. So living in Pretoria, in Johannesburg, life was very different, very materialistic. And so I was drawn basically towards that materialistic lifestyle as well. Debt started to go up and with spending, etc. But later on in my career, in around 1996, I realized that I was missing something. And so the one day I went to the Hindi temple, and it was either Ram Navami or Krishna Astami satsang. And while sitting there during satsang, the team that used to have satsang there, the lead singers and musicians there, the man there that used to lead the satsang, after he finished singing, he'll go and stand outside by the window outside where we're sitting, and he'll be smoking and talking aloud. And then I noticed this group that's come in to sing, no musicians, just a cymbal player, and it was the local Sai Center, and they would sing their bhajans non-stop without a break, without any instruments, and they would quietly leave. And I looked at this and I said, you know what, this is what the Divine Life has taught me, and this is what I am missing, so I'm in the wrong place. And so in 1996, I decided, let me go and find where the center is. And so I went to the local, it was at the Tamil temple actually, down the road where they had satsangs. And so that's when, and as soon as I joined satsang there, my career took off, my life just changed. I managed to get a job back in Durban, to be back with the family, and I met my loving wife around the same time as well. So yeah, and I knew Swami had his hand upon me at that stage.
What about you, Sister Nitasha?
Aum Sri Ram, Brother Dinesh.
Aum Sri Ram.
My journey started when I was in, I think it was, they say standard 2, standard 3. I don't know what grade that is now, 4 or 5.
Okay, 4 or 5, yeah.
In those old days, we had office bearers and active workers that used to do house visits to recruit Balvika's children. So the late Uncle Alan and Uncle Jairam, they did a house visit to my home. And my parents weren't Sai devotees. None of us were at the time. And he said, you know what, we're looking to recruit children for this Balvika's program. And that time it was Balvika's, not EHV. We didn't have all these courses that we have now. And he said, how many kids do you have in the home? So my mom said, we have 3, but my younger brother obviously wasn't in the age category. So the older of the 2 brothers, Vikash and myself, we enrolled in Balvika's. And that's how my journey started. I think that was the best thing my parents could have ever done for us as a family. And there was no turning back. From that day till today, Swami has been part of my life.
Which is why you're also here today as well.
Yes.
So, over the years, how has Swami guided your family through life's journey, the ups and the downs?
There's been no particular incident that we can associate or disassociate with Swami. When you're in the fold for this long, everything is a Sai incident. Whether it's something high, something low, you take it as Swami's part of your life, part and parcel. But just to name 1 or 2 few incidents, when I think first it was obviously us meeting in 1997. And then he obviously went to Prashanthi and he wrote his letter to Swami, and he came back and decided, okay, yes, that's the lady I want to marry. And then after we married, obviously, we had our firstborn child. And when I was pregnant for Siddhar at that time, we're talking like 20 years ago, the doctor at one of the appointments said to us, there's a possibility Siddhar could be a Down syndrome child. So he needed to do this test where, you know, they inject you in your tummy and there's a risk they could inject the fetus. So it was like a traumatic time because we newlyweds, our first child, and you're not sure now, and then you got to make these decisions. So it was a waiting period. We did the test, and the test came back, you know, that he's clear of abnormalities. So that was the first incident with us where Swami puts you through tests, trials and tribulations. Then the second one was when we went to our first trip. It was in 2008. Siddhar was 2.5 years old, and we decided, no, being breados, we'll take advantage of the, you know, infants before 3 years, and we'll take him with us to Prashanthi. And everybody said it's going to be difficult traveling with, you know, a young child, a toddler, and all of that. But I think everyone that even knows Siddhar today will say he's very easygoing, and he fitted in with everything that needed to be done. And we had a lovely trip. Brother Sunil will explain some of the incidents that happened during our first trip in Prashanthi. For me, one that stood out was we couldn't go to Prashanthi. Swami was in Vrindavan. It was April, May, during that time when we had gone for our trip. We wanted to go not during a peak time because of traveling with a toddler. So we said we'll go during that period. And some of the ladies in our group that, you know, we met and befriended said, you know what, since we're right here in Vrindavan, Prashanthi isn't that far. We'll do a day trip, a tour to Prashanthi because we don't know when we will come again. And Sunil says, I'll take care of Siddhar. You go with the ladies because it's all ladies going in the group. And I said, you know what? I don't feel right going to Prashanthi. It will not have the same meaning to me if Swami is not present and he's not there. It won't have that same vibration. The next morning, we're sitting in the hotel having our breakfast, and there's this big hustle and bustle, and everybody's rushing around, and we're asking the waitress, what's going on? They say, no, Swami's car is going past. So everybody runs out of the hotel now, leave their breakfast, and we go, and Swami's car is racing down. And we're asking, where is he going? They're saying, pack up, Swami's going to Prashanthi, Swami's going to Prashanthi. And our agent at the hotel was so kind. He says, don't worry, we'll arrange everything for you guys. We'll transfer you all from this hotel to the hotel in Prashanthi. And there we go. off to Prashanthi, I got to experience a 2-in-1 trip. Swami knows from day one, like I tell you, Swami knows if you leave everything at him, he knows every heartache, every joy, everything that you want, and he gives you what you need.
Definitely, if I'm hearing about Brother Sunil writing a letter to Swami, I can already see that Swami already had his hand in your whole family life. In your daily family life, whether it's big decisions or the small moments, what role does Swami play?
Like I said, Swami is in our daily life. So there's nothing we don't do dedicated to what Swami would want us to do, whether it's big or small. Like when the boys write exams or they got something coming up, I'll always say, like that went for drivers, matric exams, I'll say, always pray first before you put your pen to paper. Think of Swami in those moments, because if Mommy and Daddy are never around, he is the only person that will be with you.
Yeah, we try and live in the omnipresence of Swami as much as we can. And so we've got Swami's frames and pictures all over the house to constantly remind us that Swami is with us. But besides that, when it comes to any religious festival and stuff like that, and we're doing our prayers at home or outside at our prayer place, so I'll try and give a little lecture to the boys to explain to them, Chinakata, the significance of this festival or whatever it is. But being youngsters, they're always like, Dad, time's up, we need to go.
It's okay, Auntie Dolly always, Auntie Dolly taught us that in the morning, when we say the morning prayer, we already offered everything to Swami.
Yes.
Has your family experienced any divine guidance or miracles along the way?
There have been 1 or 2 incidents that we can think of just off the top of our head. It happened many years ago. Can't remember the exact date. We had just recently moved in from our old home to our new home. Swaran had started attending aftercare at Little Darlings. It was about midday. He just came home. It was a bit of a cloudy, rainy day. So my in-laws and my parents were home. So they decided to leave the garage door open, and they all inside. And we had an intruder enter the house with all the elders at home. Swaran just arrived. He was sitting in the TV lounge. Had no idea, because he was like 5 years old, I think, or even younger. And this guy came in with a knife. My father-in-law was asleep on the couch. And he didn't realize at the time until the maid screamed out, in shock that this guy had entered the house with a knife. He saw all the elders there, and he had, I think, a vehicle parked outside. For some reason, my father woke up. He's quite an elderly man, and for those of you all at Hillside know the late Mr. Dookie, he's got a slight limp. He woke up in that, fear or adrenaline. He screamed out, "What you doing? What you doing?" The black guy with the knife ran out of the house, jumped the fence and left. And none of them were harmed. Swaran had no clue what was going on. So that can only happen with Swami's divine energy over your home. So that was one incident. There was another incident where we had gone away for a party for the weekend. So we stayed over. The alarm kept going off as soon as the party started, and he's telling me, I think there's monkeys on the balcony or something. So we'll just tell them it's fine, we're not home, just, do a perimeter check. When we come home late on Sunday evening, our balcony door is broken into. My room cupboard, so from my balcony, upstairs balcony, if you walk straight in, we've got a frame of Swami on the side, and you go to the master bedroom. The cupboards were open, but not one thing was out of place. Normally if you're robbed, the first thing they'll do is they'll ruffle your cupboards and everything will be strewn everywhere. Nothing was out of place. And I'm the first person always to enter the home when we arrive from somewhere. I'll switch the lights on, open the curtains. So I walked up, and I'm telling him, the house is broken into, the door is ajar, and my cupboards are open, and I don't leave my cupboards open. Because he was filming for his niece, we had our laptop on the bed and some of the camera equipment lying on the bed. Nothing was taken. And you must know we weren't home from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was, and I think it was Saturday, the alarm went off. Nobody came in. They didn't come back knowing nobody's there. Nothing was taken. So that's another incident of Swami's protection and guidance over the family.
I'm sure Swami greeted them through that frame.
Yes,
It's like
them away.
so strange. Nothing, not one thing was out.
So, Brother Sunil, how do you involve the children in bhajans, seva, or study circles as they were growing up and even today?
I think we've been very fortunate, both Nitasha and I, that like I said, we've been part of Hillside together as husband and wife, and so it made it a lot easier with the kids as well, because we're so active in the center, knowing that Swami is the center of our universe, obviously, and Hillside is a very big part of that. And not just when I say Hillside, I mean the Hillside family, so which is family to us. So it's a lot easier for us because our children actually grew up in the ashram as toddlers, and then obviously joining the Bhavikas program, and now as youth. So being an active devotee myself, in the ashram, I think it made it a lot easier, because then I just drag them along with me, and whenever there's some activity and assistance needed in the ashram, we always encourage the boys to make sure that they're part of it. So whenever there's any youth chat, we'll always check with them. Did Prega or Shalene send something out on the youth chat for you all? Please get involved in whatever needs to be done. And so in that way, but I think it's if you lead by example, it's easier for the kids to then follow.
Definitely. And what family traditions would you say you've built around Swami, maybe for birthdays, prayer times, or festivals?
Traditions, well, Nitasha has just started a new one now, so every morning she leaves a little goblet of water at Swami's statue that we have every morning, and then we also partake in that water. So and I think that's just to help with the cleansing and the purification of thought, words, and deeds, I think. But I think most importantly, like I said, is daily gratitude in terms of our morning prayers and our evening prayers. But Nitasha is constantly reminding the boys, that they must forever be grateful to Swami for every little thing that we have in our lives. So we don't really have a set tradition per se. We follow all our religious calendar traditions that we do, and we're very serious about those, because tradition and culture is, I think, very important, and we have a very vibrant culture as Indians. So we try and bring that up in the boys.
I think this offering the water to Swami is also a good reminder of when you said earlier you try to instill Swami being present in the home, and now offering Swami water makes it feel even more personal, like Swami is here with us. And so we're offering him the water. It feels very personal. How do you remind one another to see Swami in each other, especially when, and I'm sure in family households this occurs even with the boys, when there's disagreements?
Okay, well, I'll go first. So, I don't say much to the boys. Fathers and sons, we don't communicate much. I think the mums do more. So, but Nitasha and I are always having our tips. So, it's in the home. It's always like that.
Yes.
Because it's like they say, it's two hearts coming together into one. So we're going to always have, and we do have conflicts in terms of that, but we're always very civil about it. We are two strong-headed people, if I can put it like that. When it comes to making decisions, Nitasha is quite strong in what she wants, and sometimes it's the same with me as well. So the boys will know that we do have our tips. But at the end of the day, whatever we do, it's either for the best of the family, or for the best of each of us, or perhaps the best for what Swami expects. And we leave it at that. Yeah.
I think as both of you all have also being in the profession of finance, you can only there's only one way, and that's the right way.
Correct.
And I'm sure he'll probably did very well in debates in school.
I think it comes to finance, I'm the spender, and Nitasha's.
She balances the books.
Yeah.
Brothers, to either of you, what advice would you give, especially to young parents or new families who are trying to build faith together, having traveled this journey together?
I think, like we said, there isn't a lot of hard work in making your family a unit of Sai or of a spiritual background. If you start early as a couple and you put Swami before everything, whether you're dating, whether you decide to get married, if Swami is in the forefront of your relationship, when your kids are born, you make him the forefront of your kids. Like we said, there's programs for the organization where your children can become involved in. It's not difficult at all if you put Swami first in each and everything, because there's a saying Brother Sunil mentioned at home before we left. He says, Swami protects his devotees like the eyelids protect the eye. And we've seen that in our family. And many other devotees that have families in the organization will bear testament that is what Swami does once you say yes to him. He never lets go of you. So make that step if you're in a relationship with your family, move forward. Never ever let go of the feet of Swami, and he will be there, and you will see. You'll have your highs and lows, but like he says, you'll get through it. Swami will never put you through something you cannot get out of. So that's my advice. Don't ever let go of Swami. Keep your faith constant and surrender to him.
Truly inspirational. At this point, we've heard a lot about them, and I'm sure you're all eager to know who the boys are. We welcome our brothers Siddhar and Swaran Somaroo. Aum Sri Sai Ram.
Aum Sri Sai Ram, brother nation.
So brothers, as young adults, how do you personally experience Swami's presence, maybe in your studies, your friendships, and your daily life?
You want to go first? You can go. So, for me, it's normally when I'm studying, it obviously depends on the subject. Some are easy, some are not. But for the harder ones, like, physics and maths, it can be very, frustrating when you don't know what to do. Like, it's hard to find the answer. So at times like that, I just try and take a step back. I just stay calm, collect my thoughts, and then I just try and think and just seek guidance from Swami at that point. And then I feel like that helps me with the studies.
Okay. And you, Br Swaran?
For me, I think it's that I can study both as an individual and in a group. So when I'm studying alone, maybe I'll just think about Swami while studying, and maybe just ask him for just a little bit of help here and there for something
Just
I don't
a little.
understand. And if I'm in a group, then maybe I'll get my friends to explain something for me, and I could feel like that's Swami helping me in a way.
You spoke about physics, and something I think I learned quite some time ago is, when we say Swami is omnipresent, right?
Yeah.
He's in everything. So in everything means Swami is in every atom. But when you're answering physics questions, you can't really say that it's equal to Swami times 2, yeah?
Yeah. Unfortunately, they couldn't answer about relationships. They're not yet there.
Brothers, do you ever feel that it's easy or sometimes challenging to live Swami's values at school or university, being Balvikas graduates as well?
I think for me, it's quite easy, but at certain times it can be challenging when there's fights or disputes in our friend groups or at college, uni. Then there are times when it's tough and you just need to just calm down and just respect everyone, that everyone's got their different views of how things are supposed to be.
Okay. You, Br Swaran?
I feel sort of the same. Although I am in high school, it's still going to be the same with everyone. It doesn't really matter on the friend group. There will be fights or disputes where people don't really see eye to eye. But it's better to just talk it out and see if you can find common ground.
The best thing is that you stick to your values that
Yeah.
you know. So how do you balance the demands of school, university, and prayer, seva, and center activities with very busy and active parents in the center?
Well, we always try to attend the weekly satsang, so that's one thing we always try to attend. But for seva activities and other things, we always try to make the time for it. Even with the studying and test or exams, we can always give that little bit of time for the seva or something on the weekend, and we can always come back to the studying later.
You also enjoy the seva.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
what makes you look forward to it. And the prasad.
Definitely.
Do you feel being part of a Sai family makes you different from your friends? And if so, in what ways?
I think that there's not too much of a difference, because at the end of the day, we're all still the same. We share sort of like similarities, but there are differences, but they're not that like big.
Extreme.
You can still like work it out and sort of find like a level to it.
Here's a good question. If Swami were physically present with you in class or on campus, especially after your parents explained how they try to motivate Swami being present at home, how would that change the way you interact or study?
I think for me, what I would do is I would try and get as close to Swami as possible at that time, like sort of sit by him and then just ask him for all the answers.
Perfect. you Br Swaran?
For me, I think it's the same. I would try to just interact with Swami because he is our leader, our master. He knows everything. So if he could help us in any way with our studies, I would want to know from him like what would be the best way to do the things.
Do you think Swami would give you the answers though?
Probably not. He'd give it riddles. Yeah.
So, especially Bro said you're studying, right? And Swaran, you're going to be finishing school soon. What role do you think Swami plays in your career choices? Does he have a hand in your career choices or your future goal? Does Swami have an impact on that, do you think?
I think for me, since I grew up around like technology and all that, so from a young age I've always been interested in technology. So computer science, which is what I'm studying right now.
Yes.
Swami brought up that passion from a young age for technology and computers. So that's what brought forward that passion. And it's very fun and enjoyable.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's why you're our Thursday media guy.
Media team, yeah.
For you?
For me, because I'm still in high school now,
Yes.
it's still a bit challenging on what I want to study. I still don't really have quite an idea, but I have like started to realize with like more closely because of the things that I do in like just in life, and I feel like this is Swami's way of telling me this is what I should go into. Like I like to work with numbers.
Okay.
So I'm thinking of looking into a career like with that.
Definitely the finance has taken over. So, a question for all of you, right? What role do elders or grandparents play in passing down devotion to Swami in your family?
We've been very fortunate because from the time we've married, and I think I forgot to mention this when you asked about how do we make a family unit work. Both my kids have been very fortunate. They've known their dad's parents and their mom's parents, and they lived with their grandparents, so they know what it is to engage with elders, how to be courteous, how to put up with the their good days, their bad days, because as you age, the saying goes, you go back to your infant stages.
Yes.
And not everybody is able to, deal with elders when they get old. And Brother Sunil's mum was a dialysis patient for many years. So both my boys have been very fortunate to grow up in a home where they've known both sets of grandparents. And that has shaped them also into that caring and loving children that you see for all people of all ages around them.
Definitely, that tolerance and patience is not something you find common nowadays,
Yes.
especially with our young adults. So it's amazing that grandparents
Yes.
have done this. So, what is one lesson from Swami that has become a guiding principle for your family?
I think the omnipresence of Swami, that we must never ever forget. That Swami knows everything, he sees everything, omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent, and to live with that, I think, is the key in life. And I was fortunate in my first trip to Prashanti that I actually experienced it. Because my trip there, we were just buying this building, the ashram building. And when I got there, Auntie Dolly told me, Brother Sunil, when you get to Prashanti, you're sitting in the mandir, just write a letter to Swami with whatever comes into your thoughts. And even if Swami doesn't accept that letter from you, know that he knows what's in your mind, and what's in that letter. Don't fear that, don't have doubts in terms of that. And so when I got to Prashanti and my third day there on my first trip, I got front row, to sit right in front. And I didn't even have a notepad or anything with me, but fortunately, brother sitting next to me from South Africa gave me a piece of paper and a pen to write, and I quickly wrote a letter to Swami. And the letter that I wrote to Swami was, Swami, we're buying this building, we don't know what we're getting into. Please guide us along this project, and at the same time bless all the devotees at Hillside Sai Center for this project. And Swami came straight across and accepted that letter and gave us Padam, and that project was such a huge success that today we're sitting in this very mandir doing this interview. So yeah, that omnipresence of Swami is just, that's what we need to live
remember.
with. Yeah.
And finally, we'll have to hear from each of you. How would you describe your Sai in 100 years of Sai? We can do ladies first.
My Sai in 100 years of Sai. Well, that's a tough one, because I think we're still living every day with Sai. So there's never a limit to say it's 100 years. We just have to continue the way we've been. Obviously, we've been selected as a family to do this interview. We're doing something right. And I'd say we need to continue as a family unit and resonate to the rest of the devotees these teachings of Swami, so that we all can reach 1,000,000 years of Sai.
I feel like, for me, because of this centenary year, it's gotten like a lot more stronger, the bond. And especially going into exams like this term and also next term and all the stress that's piling up now, I feel like because he's here, it will become a lot easier for me.
Okay.
For me, I think after attending the YA and the ST program and becoming an alumnus, I think I've grown closer to Swami, and it's really helped me understand more of Swami's life and his message, and what he really wants for us to do is to live out his message. So I can't really put it into words,
Definitely.
but I'm just very grateful for Swami and all he's done for us.
Thank you so much. So, I'd like to say thank yous to the Somaroo family for opening your hearts and sharing how Swami has been the center of your home. Your story is a reminder that when a family walks with God, generations are blessed and His love shines through every moment. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you, Brother
Thank you,
Dinesh.
Brother
Thank you,
Dinesh.
brother.
Jai Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram.